All right, look, after 90 plus cruises, I get a lot of questions, a whole lot of questions. But some of them, let's be real, they don't exactly make the official FAQ section, if you know what I'm saying. Questions like, can I hook up on a cruise? What happens if I miss the ship at port? And a one that I get a lot, best cruise for solo cruisers, aka best cruise for singles. That's another one I get. But listen, don't worry, no judgment here. I'm going to answer all of them, I promise. And let's just jump right into it. Yo, I'm Griff, founder of Ahoy365.com. If you're new here, what's good? And if you've been here for a while, what's up, baby? What's going on, Paradise Crew? If you guys are doing well, welcome back. Let's get this thing popping like a Miley Cyrus concert. These are the real questions, the ones, people Google at midnight trying to figure it out on their own. Or maybe those ones that hit me up in the DMs like, hey man, don't tell anyone that I asked you this, but I got a question. And listen, there is no such thing as a dumb question. There really isn't. But if we're keeping it 100, there are some wild ones, there's some awkward ones, and there's some oddly specific ones. So today, I'm giving honest answers to the stuff most first-timers are just too embarrassed to ask. Sound fair enough? These are some of the things you wish were in the brochure. So number one, can I hook up on a cruise? Is that a thing? And listen, I can't speak from experience from this, but I have seen people hooking up on cruises, okay? It's absolutely a thing. And there are bachelor cruises, there are weekend cruises, there are bachelorette cruises. And it just kind of depends where your vibe's going to fit. But on that same aspect, some people just go to chill, or people are more just open, relaxed, and social. That's cool too. If you're looking for those types of cruises, they're typically going to be 3 to 5 nights. They're party friendly. Those ships can range like Carnival, Virgin Voyages, Spring Break with Royal Caribbean, like Utopia of the Seas. And you're going to see some things. Listen, a small story. I'll never forget this one couple who I met one night at the sail away party, and by day 3 they were doing karaoke, they were doing duets, and they were holding hands at the buffet. And I was like, I thought y'all were a couple. Like, no, we just met here. I was like, no. All right, you get in where you fit in. And so I truly thought they were married until they were awkwardly hugging goodbye, and they were like, all right, see you later, hope you have a good one. Mind blown. So cruise flings, they are a real thing. So just, I guess, pack accordingly, if you know what I mean. Anyways, hooking up can happen. It's less about planning it and more about being open to meeting people. It's like Vegas, but at sea. So what happens aboard might show up on your Instagram later. So choose wisely. I'm just saying. So question number 2, can I bring alcohol, snacks, or weed? So here's the answer. You can bring 1 bottle of wine per adult on most cruise lines. That's just kind of like a rule of thumb there. And depending on the cruise line, they might charge you extra, but most of them, it's included. Sealed snacks are typically fine, depending on what it is, but weed, not even close. Can't bring it. Even if you're from a legal state, cruise ships follow international law, so not only can they confiscate it, you might not even be able to get on board because of it. So I would say leave that at home. So true story. One cruise I was on, a guy got pulled aside at embarkation for a extra screening, if you know what I'm saying. And it turns out he had some edibles and a vitamin bottle, tried to get away with it, and security obviously was not amused. He didn't even make it onto the ship. So dogs came in. That was a wrap. He was wheeling his suitcase right out, and then just boom, they took it, stopped him aside, and that was it. Anyways, you can pack a snack, pack a bottle of wine, but leave, the stash at the house. So nothing kills a vacation faster than being banned before it starts. And yes, I know some people get away with it. They get it on board. However, if you want to roll the dice and shoot your shot, that is something I don't recommend here on this channel. Just throwing it out there at you. Number 3, this is a very popular question that I receive a lot. What happens if I miss the ship at port? So great question. They will leave without you. They ain't playing. Listen, the ship runs on ship time for a reason, not local time. And if you're late, it's on you to catch up at the next port, if that's even possible these days. They don't do roll call like school. Listen, they're not going to say, Jimmy, Tommy, are you present? They're just going to scoot on out. And people in the comment section will let you know about that. There's something called peer running, and you will end up on Instagram like everybody else. In Cozumel, I watched a couple full-on sprint down the dock, y'all. Straight up. The guy had his shirt in one hand, camera bag just like flapping his arms, pumping. And the woman was just yelling, wait, to the ship. I mean, listen, it was wild. But, the gangway was already up. They didn't know that. The crew was waving goodbye, and the ship left. You're probably better off looking up prices for the next port and just flying there and see if they let you get on there. So here's a pro tip from your boy. If you're doing your own excursion, Build in at least, I'd say, an hour of buffer time for that traffic, just uncontrollables, and always keep your phone on the ship time because that clock does not wait and you can miss your floating hotel 100%. So let's get into number 4. Listen, do I need to tip everyone on board? That's a good question. I promise it is. Some people are kind of unsure and they think all the gratuities are included, and they are. And you can technically remove them too, but most major lines automatically add those gratuities to onboard account. And so usually it's between 14 and 25 bucks these days. That covers your room steward, dining team, general service crew. But listen, if someone is going above and beyond and you're just kind of vibing with them, an extra tip is always, appreciated. And they're not going to say no. There's this one bartender on a celebrity cruise I was on. I think his name was Carlos, but not the point. Day 2, he already knew my name. He knew my favorite drink. He knew how to make it. By the time I sat down, he's like, yo, Griff, what's up? He's ready. And by day 4, he was giving me other recommendations. And I started to pre-tip him because I just knew how good he was. I'm just saying it was a total different experience that I totally appreciated. And so I handed him a little bit extra on the last day, just to give him the warmest thank you. So side quest, if you've ever experienced good service like that in the comment section below, go ahead and write your story. That way people seeing it that are cruising for the first time can see that it's definitely, allowed, if that makes sense. But at the end of the day, no, you don't need to hand out tips constantly to everybody. But those little moments of recognition, they go a long way. So the built-in tips, keep the basics covered, but the extra cash, that's how you get remembered, just letting you know. Anyways, number 5, do you have to dress up for dinner every night? The answer is no, you do not. Most nights are cruise casual. So I'm talking like khaki shorts, Hawaiian shirt. And I've seen some cruise lines let you get away with flip-flops in the dining room. I'm not here to argue that, but clean jeans, polo, sundresses, and some ships, they have optional formal nights, but it's more of a prom night energy than a black tie, if you know what I'm saying. So you won't get kicked out for not wearing a tux. You'll be good to go. And on those formal nights, I do encourage people to wear closed-toe shoes, mainly the men, just kind of throwing it out there. But you do need to pay attention to specialty dining restaurants and certain cruise ships. I believe Celebrity, one of their restaurants, it is pants and it is closed-toe shoes. I think it was like Le Petit Chef. And sometimes some of the steakhouses do require that, just as an FYI. So mainly just do a quick little peek to see what's allowed and not allowed in certain restaurants. So on a 7-night sailing, I saw everything from ball gowns to Birkenstocks at dinner. So one guy, he wore a tuxedo t-shirt with swim trunks. The staff didn't even blink. I was like, all right. Meanwhile, my wife is dressed up, right? She's looking good. She's in a full gown, formal night, this complete, showstopper. Just to walk in a half-empty dining room where everyone else is kind of wearing flip-flops. So, you just kind of get in where you fit in. So dress up if you want. Just kind of depends on the vibe. But don't stress it too much. Cruise style is flexible. The only dress code that really matters is wearing something you feel good in. Put that on a t-shirt or a bumper sticker. Anyways, number 6, will I get seasick? And what do I do if I do get seasick? So I'll be honest with you. You might get seasick. Especially if it's your first cruise. But ships have pretty good stabilizers these days. I'd say really good. And most people adjust pretty quickly. If you're sensitive, book a cabin that's midship on a lower deck. You can bring meds like Dramamine, tips I'm sure you heard before, and grab some sea bands or the ginger chews. So small story here. My cousin, she took her first cruise and she swore she'd be fine. She had never done it before, right? Day 1, she's already feeling queasy. Day 2, she was curled up in the cabin, hating life. So what helped her was the green apples, ginger ale, and we had her sit out on deck for some fresh air in the sun. And by dinner, she was back to square one, back at her A game. So back into the buffet, stuff like that. So if you feel like you are going to get seasick, just kind of prepare in advance. It is a possibility, but with those things and stuff I just recommended, it can totally get you out of the red zone. So yeah, wrapping this sucker up. Seasickness can happen, but it doesn't have to ruin your trip. Come prepared. Think of it like attitude sickness. Prepare for it, and it usually fades pretty fast. Number 7, listen, if you stay all the way to the end, I got a couple bonus tips for you I want to share. Is that cool? Sounds cool. Is it okay to cruise alone? And will I feel out of place? This is pretty easy for me to answer. Absolutely. You can totally cruise alone, kind of like, I said earlier, solo cruising is on the rise, and many lines now offer solo cabins, and they only charge you for the solo cabin. Additionally, they have events for independent travelers. So you can be social when you want to be social, and you can chill when you want to chill. It's great. And a solo traveler I met on a Norwegian ship said it was her reset button. She hit the spa solo, She crushed trivia night every night, and she joined a bar crawl on the last day by meeting a couple other people. Because again, you're going there to meet people, be friendly, be engaging. More importantly, just be yourself. And by the end, she was in everyone's selfies and had a running tab of inside jokes I didn't even understand. But that's what happens when strangers turn to friends. It just kind of happens. If you've ever been on a cruise and you've met a bunch of friends and family, like, let people know in the comment section below. Some people are under the impression that they won't make friends on a cruise, but no, you absolutely will. We've met some lifelong friends as well. So if you're wondering whether you'll feel out of place cruising solo, I don't think so. Maybe the first day you might feel a little awkward because you're kind of new to it, but if anything, you'll probably feel really free to just do whatever you want. Number 8, really easy one here, but important. What actually happens at the muster drill? And do I have to go? The answer is yes, it is mandatory, but it's not like it used to be. Most ships now let you watch a safety video from an app. So you'll put it on your phone, you'll install the app, and you'll watch the muster drill from there. You do a quick little check-in and at your station, and then it's pretty quick and painless these days. There's only a couple ships that are pretty outdated, if you ask me, and that's Disney and I think a couple ones in Europe. But back in the day, you'd stand outside, packed shoulder to shoulder like sardines for like 30 minutes in the hot Miami sun. It was not fun. Or Port Canaveral. The humidity in Florida is just awful. But last time on Virgin Voyages, we actually watched the muster drill at the pizza spot, just hanging out on top deck. So that was a much easier experience. And then we stopped by our muster station drill and checked in and then checked out. And it was really easy. So yes, wrapping that up, you do have to do it, but now it's like brushing your teeth, quick, necessary, and a lot more tolerable than it used to be. So I don't know why that's the example I'm using, but it made sense in my head. Anyways, number 9, is everything really included? Like, can I eat as much as I want? So this answer is kind of tricky. It's mostly yes. Buffet, main dining room, pizza bar, all that stuff's included. You can order multiple entrees at dinner, but drinks and specialty dining and certain extras like espresso, a steakhouse, those do cost extra. Okay. If you want to know what's included and not included on certain cruises, you can always go to YouTube and type it in. I also got a couple videos on that as well. But one night I ordered 2 appetizers, 2 mains, 3 desserts just to try everything. And the waiter didn't even flinch. They were just like, all right, cool, bet. He actually encouraged it. So that same trip, my friend dropped like $75 at the sushi bar in one sitting. So, I mean, balance is key. But anyways, yes, you can eat like royalty without spending extra. But the minute you add booze, Starbucks, a chocolate martini, depending if you have the drink package or not, with a side of like, whatever, that's where the upcharges start to sneak in. Anyways, number 10, and we'll get you out of here. Will I get bored on sea days, and what do people even do on a sea day? Depends on the person, but not likely. Sea days are packed with options. I mean, you got shows, you got trivia, you got spa, you got brunch in the dining room, you got pool time, you got nap time. I mean, that's all a bunch of fan favorites if you ask me, especially like pool parties, and there's belly flop competitions, all sorts of quirky stuff if you ask me. On one sea day, for example, I woke up late, hit the gym, grabbed a bunch, lost a trivia contest, watched a belly flop competition, and then somehow ended up dancing in the atrium during 80s night, and a bunch of balloons came from the ceiling. So that was cool. And I still missed more than half of the ship's events. There's so many things to do on a cruise ship. So no, you won't be bored unless you're actively choosing to be bored. There's so many things to do, but unless you want to be bored, unless you want to sit on the top deck and tan, if you consider that boring, I mean, you could totally do that too. But yeah, sea days, in my opinion, are your time to recharge, roam, and do absolutely nothing. And that's kind of the point of cruising on sea days. You just kind of create your own adventure. But listen, I got one more bonus tip, and then I'll let you get out of here. If you are going on your first cruise, you can check out these 20 mistakes first-time cruisers make in this video here. Or you can check out one of my versus videos if you're trying to compare cruise lines, like Norwegian versus Royal Caribbean. Which one's good for you and your family? Watch that video right there. It's a solid winner. But as always, if you dig the vibes, please subscribe. And if you care, please share. And we'll see you in paradise. Peace.